Blog Talk Radio.
You are listening to Nat Turner Library Radio, featuring authors Michael Muhammad and Khalifa Muhammad. Nat Turner Library Radio.
You are listening to the Nat Turner Library Radio Network. If you are offended by black people discussing our suffering, black people discussing our struggle, and black people talking about solutions to our problems, then this show is not for you. You have been warned. Nat Turner Library Radio.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. I'm your host, your brother Michael Muhammad. Today's date is Sunday, April 19th, 2020. Tonight's subject, pandemic, food preservation. For many decades, our sister Abdul Mu'min, our sister, has been working on behalf of the black nation to give us the ideas of how to preserve food in a time like this. And so we're going to talk with Sister Abdul Mu'min, who is wife of Dr. originally Abdul Mu'min, who was on our show just a few weeks ago to talk specifically on the Staple Goods Project. And so tonight, after accepting our invitation, Sister Abdul Mu'min, wife of Dr. originally Abdul Mu'min of Muhammad Farms, is a brother or a sister, who has been working to help with food preparation and demonstrations. She helps Dr. Ridgely with muffin mixes, and on Muhammad Farms website, brothers and sisters, you go to Muhammad, MUHAMMAD, farms.com. Okay, and just type on or click on where it says Sister Ann's Recipes and Sister Ann's Kitchens, and you get to see these demonstrations. You're listening, brothers and sisters, to the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for tuning in. We're in the series titled Pandemic, COVID-19, Coronavirus, wherever you want to call it. But first and foremost, before we continue on this day, Sunday, April 19th, I want to first and foremost greet everyone in the words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. And I'd like to first and foremost open up by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the one God who appeared to us in the person of Master Wali Fard Muhammad, who came 9,000 miles by himself from the holy city of Mecca, who came to teach the lost-found black man and woman, lost-found nation of Islam, and those who are of good faith, the teachings of the God himself from 66 trillion years ago. I thank him for raising up just one, and that being the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I thank both of them for leaving a reminder in our midst, the spirit of truth, and a man in this dark hour that has been a faithful warner to us all. If you don't know, I'm speaking of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their holy names that I greet everyone again in the words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, for my Hebrew family, to the Pan-Africanist family, Habarigani, which is just simply Swahili for what's the news, Hotep, to my Kemetic or ancient Egyptian family. Praise the Lord this evening to my Christian family that's listening, to the Nawapian Savian language family, Brother Amun Geb here in Atlanta, Sister Mayat Rae K. Atum Rae, and Sister Patrice Broussard, Attorney Broussard, for freeing Dr. Malachi York. I want to say in the Anunnaki language, Rahubats, Black Power Fist to Chairman Hashim Akhenaten Nzinga of the new Black Panther Party. Shout out Black Power Fist to Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, and also to Sister Spokesperson Ya Asentawa up in Harlem, battling this COVID-19 behind enemy lines. Shout out Black Power Fist to you. To the nations and gods of Earth's family. Peace to the gods. To the Nat Turner Gun Club, Huey P. Newton Gun Club, and all those gun clubs that are striving to defend the black man and woman of North America. I want to say Black Power Fist to you. And anyone else who's just listening in for the first time or listening live or listening on podcast, good evening. You are listening to the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. I am your host, Brother Michael Muhammad. Simply put, I am an author of a book by the title Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, Part 1, The Black Woman. This is a book that is a compilation of research, basic Black Facts 101, into the hardest questions surrounding the black diaspora. Why did we end up in the condition we did here in North America? And what are some of the most elusive subjects dealing with black theology and black history? I discuss in this book factual information with references that prove certain things that we teach in the Nation of Islam and in black theology in general that some may not understand. So I invite you all to go to my website, bromichaelmuhammad.com. That's BROMICHAELMUHAMMAD.com, bromichaelmuhammad.com. And simply, first and foremost, look at all the site sections that I have. It's a site that's in progress, and after this COVID-19 has subsided some, I'll be able to continue to improve it. But for now, it's functional. Okay, and you'll find the latest information there. If you go to where it says health, which because of this COVID-19 preparedness, I have a lot of information, including our website, not our website, the podcasts that are related to health, the psychological effects that we did, that show on April 6th, the autoimmune diseases and women of color podcast. We also have the latest Dr. Umar interview, Pandemic Advice to the Black Parents. All you have to do is go there, and whatever subject tickles your fancy, you can listen to the podcast for that. You can also support those guests, including people like a Dr. Umar or Dr. Abdul Mu'min, and you can support the mask creators, such as Sister Bridget John of BridgetJohn.com, sister who's been making masks. You can support our sister from Elegant Mask Creations, Sister Alicia. You can support the I Am Learning at Home mask from Sister Angel Muhammad, who was the first to present this to us. And all of these sisters are making great masks. If you don't have any, brothers and sisters, get it. This is going to be a long-term thing. You can also go on bromichaelmuhammad.com to the shop section, brothers and sisters. And what I ask for you to do when you go to the shop section is, this is the way you're supporting this kind of podcast and these shows. All you have to do is select a shirt, a book, an e-book, or an essential oil that is something that you would like. We have different colors. The white shirts are there just as a placeholder, but there are different colors, and you can contact us at that number that is on the site, or you can email us, and I'll be happy to get in contact with you and have the representatives for bromichaelmuhammad.com and M6X Clothing Apparel to get in contact with you to find out what product you are interested in. You can also go to the other sections, such as the Black Business Directory of bromichaelmuhammad.com, brothers and sisters, and find out other products, services, including ministry from different guests that we've had and different subjects that are there. For your first-time listeners, brothers and sisters, you may be asking, who is the Nat Turner Library? And why do we call it such? Well, the Nat Turner Library itself was the brainchild of the founder, Elder Khalif Khalifa, a wonderful man who's been on the forefront of publishing black books since the 70s. This is a man who's been on our show and has had the Nat Turner Library radio show from its inceptions over a decade ago. And so he and his wife, dearly departed wife, Sister Rita Fard Khalifa, had the vision long time ago of owning property on the Nat Turner land, which they do. And on it is contained the Nat Turner Library itself, which is the compilation of most of the black books that are published and written and published by black authors here in the hell of North America and some from around the world. Their vision is to have sort of like a black Library of Congress, wherein every book, fiction or non, is contained in one repository. It's in a vision that I suggest we support. And they have a good percentage of those books there. Sister Rita Fard Khalifa is no longer with us, but the vision still continues with her husband, who is survived by her, or she's survived by him. And he had asked his son and I, Brother Khalifa Muhammad and myself, a few years ago to take up the mantle of the Nat Turner Library radio show. Why is it called Nat Turner Library? Nat Turner was the first black religious individual, if you may say, who was in his study of the Bible, had taught himself that the God of creation, brothers and sisters, did not want us to be subjected to some of the worst treatment that human beings have ever received. And so one of the things that he was commissioned to do by the slave masters during that time was to take the teachings of God and make those slaves that were in Southampton County and other places, Southampton County, Virginia, that is, and make them more malleable, or if you would, more psychologically capable of listening to them. And so he found in the research after some time of the Bible that, hey, the God of creation wants us free. He wants us to have justice, and he wants us to have, at very least, equality with the other human beings. And so one of the final solutions that Nat Turner decided was to eliminate, as Jesus said, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. He decided to eliminate the offensive parties amongst us, and that being the slave master and his children, in armed rebellion to them. He was successful until the rebellion was quashed by some of those slaves that decided to fight for their slave master. In the spirit of Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, who also had organized some of the greatest, or would have been the greatest slave rebellions, and many, many more. We at the Nat Turner Library have this show in this spirit, where we present information to you, like in the spirit of Nat Turner, like in the spirit of Denmark Vesey and Gabriel Prosser and other liberators, wherein you get your true freedom from freeing your mind through the acquisition of knowledge, as the book of Amos says in the King James Version of the Bible. That is the history of the Nat Turner Library radio show. You can follow us also on YouTube, brothers and sisters, by simply typing in Nat Turner Library Radio Show. You can also go to Instagram and type in Nat_Turner_Library_radio. Follow us there. You can also follow us on Twitter with the acronym NTLR. That's N as in Nathan, T as in Turner, L as in Lima, L as in R as in radio, dash radio, NTLR dash radio. YouTube, and just simply type in Nat Turner Library Radio Show. And Vimeo, you can find some of our archive there as well by simply going to Vimeo and visit vimeo.com/NTLR. As I stated earlier, to support this show, go to bromichaelmuhammad.com and buy something. During this time of struggle, dealing with the depression and anxiety that goes with this, I want to take a moment, brothers and sisters, to say we're in about our third or fourth week of the stay-at-home orders, and there's going to be more weeks to come. And so you're going to have some struggle. We're all struggling with this stay-at-home stuff. But we had two guests on the last 2 weeks, Counselor Gerald King, who offered his phone number, 678-542-2333, 9065. Also email NIYA333JLK@gmail.com. This was an offering, beloved brothers and sisters, so that if you can get the first level of counsel and therapy that is confidential, do so. Dr. Umar Johnson, well known, is offering life coaching and home school sessions. And email him at Dr. That's Umar, UMAR, Johnson, JOHNSON, at yahoo.com. You can call him at 844-4, the number 4 that is, DR-Umar, UMAR. It's important, brothers and sisters, that you take or avail yourself to these resources, because at a time like this, it's better to have those that are here to help you talk to you. You don't want to wait until you have domestic violence going on in your home, or you have your children sitting there frustrated, you don't know what to do. It's better to avail yourself, brothers and sisters, of these resources than to not. So please take advantage of those resources, brothers and sisters. Now, our guest tonight will be Sister Abdul Mu'min, wife of Dr. Ridgely Abdul Mu'min. And she was going to discuss with us preservation food types and some of the history. She's one of our elders. So hopefully she'll be on with us tonight to go over the do's and don'ts of food preservation. If you're familiar with food preservation, then this will just be a refresher course to watch the demonstration live. You can't really hear that on radio. What you got to do is go to MuhammadFarms.com and just simply click on the link that says Sister Ann's Kitchen. She has canning okra demonstrations there, all canning peaches. She has a lot of the demonstrations of food as well, cooking cream of wheat, how to process food in general, whole wheat meal, what do you do with it? It's very comprehensive demonstrations that are on Muhammad Farms. Support Muhammad Farms, brothers and sisters, by donating some money there. And what you can do is, as we stated last week, in order to donate to Muhammad Farms, don't send the money directly, as Dr. Abdul Ridgely Mu'min said, to him. Send it to Muhammad Farms, or the 3-year economic program, brothers and sisters. Okay, you can find the place to do so, or the information to do so, on MuhammadFarms.com. You're listening again to the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. Call-in number is 515-605-9762, 515-605-9762.
Mr. Muhammad.
Yes?
It's time for the news with Sister Tan.
It is. It is time, right on cue. Sister Tangela, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, alaikum salam, Sister Tangela. Praise be to Allah. It gets raining and thundering out here in Georgia. How are you feeling tonight, Sister Tangela?
I'm doing well. All praises to Allah.
Okay. Well, let's go forward. What kind of news we got tonight, Sister Tangela?
Okay, the first article, greeting family. The first article is from USAtoday.com. Fact check. Black people being targeted in Guangzhou, China over COVID-19 fears. The claim, a McDonald's location in China prohibited black people from entering. A sign barring black people from entering a McDonald's in the Chinese city of Guangzhou has gone viral on social media. The image, as well as video of an argument at the site, has become a flashpoint in a broader debate about racism in China's response to the coronavirus pandemic. We've been informed that from now on, black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant, the sign in the post says. For the sake of your health, consciously notify the local police for medical isolation. Please understand the inconvenience caused. An African man was reportedly asked to leave a McDonald's in the Chinese city of Guangzhou. The incident comes amid the growing number of reports of racial profiling and discrimination against black people in the city. The incident has generated outrage across all social media platforms, as people in the city of Guangzhou, unfortunately thinking that black immigrants are the reason why people aren't getting the coronavirus. It's just sad.
Wow.
You know, unfortunately, people, they're being discriminated against. They're being evicted from their homes. They're being asked to leave the city, all over the fears of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, unfortunately, our brothers and sisters there in that area are being discriminated against, all because people think they are carrying around the coronavirus.
Right. If I may comment, Sister Tangela, that in psychology, brothers and sisters, there's a test that therapists use called the Rorschach ink blot test. Rorschach ink blot test basically allows for a person to reveal what is truly on their mind, Sister Tangela. And the purpose of the Rorschach test is you're shown any one of inanimate objects, which really means different things to different people. So right now, this COVID-19 and all the fears that are contained in the lack of knowledge or lack of containment of it around the world, Sister Tangela, the Rorschach test in this case is revealing what's truly in the minds of the people. We know, just being black in this world and all the slander and all the media has done to slander black skin, blackness, and black this, black that is devil this and all that, we know that the Chinese people have been one of those that have been negatively educated by the negative media. Ain't no African does anything against the Chinese people.
No, not at all.
So it's unfortunate, but you have some white people, like you had stated before in the news, that are here in the U.S. that are treating black people negatively, even to the point where we're dying as a result of the negligence in these hospitals.
That's true.
All the more reason. I'll say this real quick and then I'll go into the next news. All the more reason, brothers and sisters, that we have to work feverishly to continue purchasing from your people, which is leading up and openly to the separation idea. We have to love ourselves and be able to present to the world the positive images of blackness so that our Chinese family, our Arab family, our native people around the world, they know that black skin is not only not a curse, but it is the original skin. So until then, Chinese people, Sister Tangela, are like anyone else. They're not going to know anything other than what they've been told, and they are exercising their very fears. So thank you for that, Sister Tangela.
Now, the government officials from African nations, from China, from the U.S., have all spoken out against the controversy. McDonald's has issued an apology for the sign, and they have said that they're going to educate the managers in that region that they do not represent those type of values whatsoever at McDonald's Corporation.
Praise be to Allah. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, the next article is from Independent.com. Millionaires receive $1.7 million in coronavirus relief as most taxpayers get $1,200 checks thanks to the hidden Republican loophole. As millions of Americans woke up to $1,200 checks in their bank account, well, I didn't. Some of the nation's richest taxpayers learned that they were about to receive a bit of relief as well, about $1.7 million to be exact. Nearly 43,000 millionaires across the country would soon profit off of a loophole adapted from the Republican tax code overhaul of 2017, which allows certain business owners to significantly reduce their tax liability by temporarily suspending the limit of deductions they can place against non-business income. The loophole has included as a provision in sweeping $2.2 trillion coronavirus aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, according to a report requested by the Joint Commission on Taxation. Democrats who ordered the report has since accused Republicans of having wrongly seized on this health emergency to reward ultra-rich beneficiaries, likely including the Trump family. So apparently they have found a loophole in which they can receive an actual tax benefit. in this whole entire economic relief program, which is just bad. Once again, the rich taking advantage of the rich, taking advantage of the poor.
Indeed. Well, here's the issue that I see, Sister Tangela, on that note. You know, when any time the federal government goes to the Federal Reserve and says we need money, the last people that they're considering, according to the genesis of the American government as it stands, they don't consider poor people. They don't consider, I'll say it again, poor people, according to what my American government professor said to me just a few months ago at the university that I attend. He said, and I quote, "The originators of the American government," we're talking the founding fathers of white people, if you would, to make it plain, they never considered poor people to have a voice. They never, ever considered that. And so in where we are today, they always had this idea, and I'll leave it with this, that poor people, especially those who are not white, poor people in general, according to the founding fathers, he said, weren't able to have a decision on how to live. They were uneducated. So it shows me that still that background, the psychology of that background still exists when you see poor people getting measly $1,200, which really don't do anything but pay bills, okay? Yeah. And the rest get millions of dollars. It still shows me that that basis of a government is there. Capitalism as we know it is no longer. So thank you for that article, Sister Tangela.
Okay, the next article is from Forbes.com. Proposed $2,000 monthly stimulus checks and cancel rent and mortgage payments for 1 year. The CARES Act provides a lifeline for taxpayers and small businesses, but as a one-time cash payment, many fear that this isn't enough to support the taxpayers in one of our country's greatest time of need. So what they're looking at now is providing another stimulus, in which members of Congress have proposed two separate bills, one that will provide Americans over the age of 16 with a $2,000 monthly check for up to 12 months, and one that will cancel rent and mortgage payment through the duration of the coronavirus emergency. The first one, the $2,000 monthly stimulus check, is going to be called the Emergency Money Peoples Act, and if the act is passed, it will provide cash payments to Americans who are impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. That particular $2,000 monthly stimulus check would go to every American aged 16 and older making less than $130,000 a year and receive at least $2,000 per month. Married couples earning less than $260,000 will receive at least $4,000 per month, and qualifying families with children will receive an additional $500 per child up to 3 children. Those who had no earnings, were unemployed, or currently unemployed will also be eligible for the stimulus, but they did not file a tax return. Those who were not eligible in 2019 and 2018 will be eligible in 2020 to at least submit 2 consecutive paychecks to verify their income. Now, the second proposal is to cancel rent and mortgage payments due to the coronavirus emergency. And that particular cancellation is called the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act. And if approved, it would cancel the rent and mortgage payments through the duration of the coronavirus pandemic, or up to at least 1 year. And the bill would include full rent payment forgiveness for your primary residence. It would full mortgage payment forgiveness for your primary residence. No accumulation of debt for renters or homeowners. No negative impact on their credit rating or rental history. It will also establish a relief fund for landlords and mortgage holders to cover losses, and it would create an optional fund to finance the purchase of private rental properties to increase the availability of affordable housing. So these are really two wonderful proposals that are possible that may go into play. They're both proposals are being proposed by Democrats. So hopefully they can get something to the House floor and to the Senate and get something voted on to hopefully those particular acts can be passed, and they can get some more money to the American people. They need it.
Well, thank you for that, Sister Tangela. Brothers and sisters, I want to be real quick because we got other news to get to. And Sister Abdul Mu'min, our guest tonight, dealing with food preservation, I do see you on the line. Thank you for calling in. Other callers that are in from Atlanta, Texas, New York, I see. Thank you for calling in. Your listening tonight is much appreciated. Capitalism. Real quick, Sister Tangela, I want to give the audience a definition of two systems of government that has to do with financial governing. Capitalism is defined, according to Merriam-Webster. Capitalism is an economic system characterized by private or corporate ownership of money, goods, and investments, and decisions are made in how they're governed privately. Prices, production, distribution of goods are all determined mainly in what's called free markets, okay? That's what we have today, right now, brothers and sisters. That's what Merriam-Webster says is the definition of capitalism. However, where we're going, Sister Tangela, based on what you just stated, whether people know it or not, and I'm an advocate for this as a temporary system to help stave off war and revolution, which is where we're going. I'll say it again. We're going toward, if they don't pass something like what Sister Tangela just read, brothers and sisters, if they don't pass that, we're heading towards an anarchist society where what is currently in place in America will be overthrown through fighting, wars. That's what the system of history tells us. So we have to embrace what's called socialism. And the reason I'm bringing it up is it's defined as a system advocating for the collective or the majority of people who are government, or the government owns a small portion of it, of the operating financial system. However, the administration and means of production and distribution of goods are distributed equally amongst the people. There isn't any private interest being involved. In layman terms, brothers and sisters, we have to deal with what's best for the majority of the people, not just what's for the private businesses. That's where we're going, whether people want to admit it or not. What else do you have, Sister Tangela?
Okay, the next article is from usatoday.com. Looking for Lysol spray and Clorox wipes, but COVID-19 wipes out disinfectant. But here's when you can buy again. But we all know, I'm sure a lot of us going to the stores and looking for Clorox wipes and looking for Lysol. Well, apparently there isn't any. The manufacturers have both been completely unprepared for the skyrocketing just people wiped out of all the Clorox and the disinfectant sprays. All those are just nowhere to find them in any stores around here. So
right.
Unfortunately, both companies said that they're trying their best to manufacture these products as quickly as can. They're trying to cut down their actual supply lines. So they're trying to cut back their actual product so that they can only supply what is needed, so they can get this supply to the people as soon as possible. But apparently we probably won't see any Lysol or Clorox wipes on the shelves until probably sometime mid-May or June, because the manufacturer has to actually manufacture these products, and
wow.
they're pretty much wiped out of their stock supply. Now they said that the best places to look for these products right now, is probably Walmart, Costco, Sam Clubs, public supermarkets, those type of stores that have their own delivery trucks, because they're able to go to the manufacturer themselves and pick up from the warehouses. So if you're trying to find those, and also they said try looking in places in smaller cities, smaller towns, or like in rural areas, or in areas where there's a tourist destination, so that because those places would get more like to have the supply faster. So and if you try to hold out until mid-May to June, hopefully you'll start seeing a stock of those particular Lysol sprays and products come back into the stores.
Praise be to Allah. What you got next, Sister Tangela?
The last article is from MarketWatch.com. The coronavirus pandemic shows the U.S. food supply chain is due for upgrade, experts say. Now, grocery store shoppers are being met with empty store shelves, not because there's a shortage of food, but because the nation's food supply chain is struggling to cope with either stockpiling by consumers or by a slump in demand from restaurants and illnesses among workers who are due to COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, around the country, the beef, pork, and chicken plants have closed because the workers who have come down with COVID-19. Also, a lot of the stores have limited supply, and unfortunately, the $3 billion food service industry has seen a sales decline of over between 60 and 90% due to COVID-19. So we have to be very, very mindful of food preparation. And tonight we have a wonderful guest who's going to teach us some ways and methods of preserving food, so that if the time comes, it'll be all right.
Praise be to Allah. You are so right, Sister Tangela. Sister Abdul Mu'min has been for many years advising people, particularly those of us in the Nation of Islam, but many, on basics of food preservation and food preparation. And for those that will be listening to this in the days to come, in the weeks to come, and those that are listening live, my suggestion is take notepad and pen, because to truly learn how to can or do food preservation, you have to see the demonstrations that Sister Ann has demonstrated on the Muhammad Farms website. Go to MuhammadFarms.com, click on Sister Ann's Kitchen, brothers and sisters. You're going to see her have at least a dozen videos on canning. But tonight we're going to have her talk about the basics of it, what she's done, how do you do it. I've never canned, Sister Tangela. I've never canned before, so I'm going to ask for myself.
I grew up, my grandmother grew up, I grew up on a farm, so I grew up seeing it being done all the time. By my grandparents, yeah. Have I actually done it? No. Only thing I've done is pickling. I pickled beets and pickled jalapenos, and I pickled, cucumbers and things like that, but I haven't actually
done the hardcore canning. Gotcha.
And the hardcore canning, yes.
And you've done a great job at pickling, if I may say so myself. The fire cider you've made us, and
yes, fire cider.
The pickled beets and the pickles with the fresh garden, fresh cucumbers. You've done a great job. And Sister Ann is going to bring us further, I'm sure, into that. You have any final comments as we close out of this section?
No, I'm looking forward to the show.
All praises due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Tangela. Thank you once again. The news is always one of the more sought-after sections of the Nat Turner Library Radio Show, and for good reason. Coming up after these messages, brothers and sisters, we're going to take a few minutes to talk about some products, if you would, with these commercials. But coming up, our guest is waiting, our sister, Sister Abdul Mu'min. She's going to talk to us about the basics of food preservation. What is it? Okay, what types of foods can you preserve? What should you be preserving? How do you start the concept of preserving? All those basic things that I have questions on, because I've never done it before. When we come up, you're listening to Nat Turner Library Radio Show. Call in 515-605-9762. You heard the article. The food supply may not be here in the next few weeks, few months. So you got to take what you can get and preserve it. How do you do that? Coming up after this, Nat Turner Library Radio Show. We'll be back.
Stay tuned for Nat Turner Library Radio.
Attention, please. Attention, please. Final Call Radio is now live. I repeat, Final Call Radio is now live. Final Call Radio is a 24-hour streaming service featuring the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Hear messages from the minister 24 hours a day. Hear news reports and updates from around the country on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Take us everywhere. Log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button. Final Call Radio, Final Call News, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
This is your sister, Angel Muhammad, offering to the public a quality cotton protective washable face mask. It comes in various colors and sizes to fit your style. For more information, please contact me at 937-624-9764 or visit my Instagram page at I Am Learning at Home. This is your sister, Angel Muhammad, offering to the public a quality cotton protective washable face mask. It comes in various colors and sizes to fit your style. For more information, please contact me at 937-624-9764 or visit my Instagram page at I Am Learning at Home.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Bellevue Spa wants to help you with your healthy journey. You can call us at 678-769-5772, or you can check out the Healthy Quest tab on BellevueSpa.com. With the coronavirus running rapid through the countries, we ship nationwide, offering immune-boosting products such as elderberry syrup, sea moss gel and supplements, and don't forget your date syrup. Can all be purchased at BellevueSpa.com, or you can call us at 678-769-5772 to place your order. Sea moss is a great anti-inflammatory. It has anti-cancer properties, 92 of the 103 minerals the body needs to boost your immune, and it aids in weight loss. We call it a superfood. Elderberry is great for cold, cough, builds the immune system. It eases sinus pain, back and leg pain, nerve pain, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Elderberry helps with constipation, hay fever, and allergies. Call Bellevue Spa at 678-769-5772 to place an order, or check out our website at BellevueSpa.com, BelleJuspa.com, and check out the Healthy Quest tab.
FinalCall.com. FinalCall.com. One word, FinalCall.com. The award-winning website for the realest and most accurate black news available on the planet. FinalCall.com. Fair, reasonable, accurate, and inclusive. We are a unifying website. FinalCall.com. Go there today.
Stay tuned for Nat Turner Library Radio.
Attracted some of the most brilliant, award-winning musicians and artists.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Chilling with the president, he let me in the White House. Back to the castle with the minister.
Support this project from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan by going to Let'sChangeTheWorldMusic.com. That's Let'sChangeTheWorldMusic.com. You may also simply type in LCTWMusic.com. That's LCTWMusic.com. Support your own, support yourself.
The internet is full of half-truths and all-out lies. We've all seen them, and many people on social media complaining about it. Here's your chance to show and prove. WorldAfropedia.com is a black-owned and operated encyclopedia. There are several thousand articles, but we need help. We can't uncover all the truth ourselves. So please, join us and become a writer, editor, or blogger for worldafropedia.com today. Every little bit counts. We owe it to the future generations to put the truth out there. Visit worldafropedia.com, the African-centered encyclopedia, a global database of African knowledge for the purpose of bringing about global African wisdom and understanding. worldafropedia.com.
Stay tuned for Nat Turner Library Radio.
Greetings. My name is Sister Alicia Muhammad. I am the founder of Elegant Mass Creations here in Atlanta, Georgia. As you all may know, all around the world today, many people of different race, color, and creed are being affected by COVID-19. And the reality of the matter is, whether you believe it or not, thousands and millions of people are dying from this virus. My company is created simply to provide the world with a safer tomorrow. How can we flatten the curve? How can we protect our families? We must provide each other the necessities, the essentials. And right now, masks are our number one essential. We need to protect ourselves. Many of us can't help but to go outside. So how do we prevent the spread? Protect yourself. For more information, please visit our Facebook page at Elegant Mass Creations or simply dial 678-598-3353. And remember, we provide not only elegance, sturdy, quality material masks, but we provide affordability.
Here to tell you about my research study. The research study titled Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, Part 1, The Black Woman. The long-awaited first research study title is designed for the original man and woman of North America and those who wish to know the truth. Go to bromichaelmuhammad.com, BROMichaelMuhammad.com. That's bromichaelmuhammad.com. This title contains the hidden history from the antiquity of human beings to modern times and the behind-the-scenes demise of black consciousness. Did you know that the black woman has a direct connection to the river systems in America? Did you know that the fable of black skin being a curse is not in the Bible, but indeed a creation of the Babylonian Talmud? Also, in this book, you'll find the hidden history behind the women's liberation movement and black human rights as a form of black disunity. All of this and much, much more. Go to bromichaelmuhammad.com and purchase the book, Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind. This award-winning book is available now from Amazon on the e-reader, and you can purchase the hard copy at bromichaelmuhammad.com. You can also call 678-777-8288, 678-777-8288 to order your copy. I also am available for speaking engagements on the subject matter of this commentary. Call again, 678-777-8288, or visit bromichaelmuhammad.com. Also, go to Facebook and look up Checkmate, The War for the Black Mind, Part 1. Also on Instagram, Checkmate. Learn how to keep your black mind your own. Peace.
And we're back. April 19th, brothers and sisters. April 19th, pandemic, food preservation. We have our sister Abdul Mu'min waiting patiently. We thank Allah for her and for Dr. Ridgely Abdul Mu'min of Muhammad Farms. For many, many a decade, have been helping the original man and woman to maintain food integrity. And just like that last article you saw that you just, Sister Tangela, our news consultant, said, this is the time, brothers and sisters, for us to take this seriously. 515-605-9762. And so without further delay, we would like to bring on our guest here. Sister Ann Mu'min has been working with food preservation and food preparation for many a years, and I invited her to the show tonight, brothers and sisters, because there's a lot of people who can talk about food preservation, but I love experience. I love experience, as you know. Experience is one of the best teachers, and so with that, we would like to welcome Sister Ann Mu'min. Sister Ann Mu'min, are you there, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. How are you feeling, Sister Ann?
I'm doing just fine, and how are you?
By Allah's permission, I too am feeling fine. Thank you for asking, ma'am. And so for the audience here at Nat Turner Library Radio Show, if you'd like to take a moment to tell us who you are about yourself, and then we'll get right into the food preservation.
Okay, well, I'm Sister Ann Mu'min Muhammad, wife of Dr. Ridley Mu'min Muhammad, here at Muhammad Farm, where I've been for, I would say, 20 years now. And it's been a wonderful journey. We have come a long way, and we still have a long way to go.
Yes, ma'am.
My talk this evening is going to be on food preservation. Well, I don't know if I gave enough about myself, but, you know.
Whatever you want to give us. Whatever you want to give us is what we take, Sister Ann. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well, growing up, I grew up in the South. I'm originally from Macon, Georgia. My family used to go to what we call the country a couple of times a year. And my dad, especially in the summertime, would go and bring back cars were big at that time. Volume-wise. He would go and bring back just truckloads of vegetables, because I had an uncle and aunt who lived in Sandersville, Georgia, where my parents were from, that they still farmed. And my parents would go back from Macon every summer and just bring all these vegetables back. And we would sit around after dinner, and I'm from a large family. There were 14 children in my family. And at one time or another, all 14 of those children were at home. Wow. Not for long, but all 14 were there at one time. I can't remember whether or not my older sister, no, she was not there. She had been married and she was gone. But the rest of us was there. And we would sit around and prepare these vegetables mostly. And my mother would start the canning process. My job was, I was little, my job was to help to shell the peas and at that time butter beans and what have you, and shuck the corn and peel peaches. And we would get those things ready for the canning process. I would stand and watch my mother do all of the canning, and I never assumed that one day I would be doing all of that myself. Well, I have my mother's canner that she used because I got it from my oldest sister before she passed. But I have that just for posterity purposes, for memory. And I have my own canner that I use. But today, I can, I freeze, I water bath can, do it all, because today you need to know how to do it all. the first thing I want to tell anybody who is thinking about canning, they say, I've never done it before. I'm afraid to do it. That's the first thing you have to do. Get over the fear. Many people are afraid of the pressure canner because they've heard stories that, they'll blow up. They'll blow up on you. You have to be real, real careful. Well, today they are making them safer. They have what they call a petcock on the top. It's a thing that regulates the steam. Now, my mother's canner, she used to cook in it. And I was a little girl, and my older sister was supposed to be cooking dinner this particular day. And she had, at that time, years ago, children would go outside in the morning when school was out, and they would not come back in until it was dinner time,
Yes, ma'am.
So we were outside playing. Stu was in the house, and she had the radio going, and I guess she was dancing to the music. And we heard this loud explosion, and everybody stopped. What was that? And we ran to the house, and lo and behold, the pressure canner, she had forgot to release the steam, and it blew the top off.
Wow.
All those rice and vegetables he had in there was all over the ceiling.
Wow.
So that was one of the things that I remembered about that pressure canner. So when I started canning, I used that canner for a while, and it is the type that you have the rubber seal on it. I had to make sure I could find the rubber gasket to replace it on there, to make sure that it's sealed properly. But canners today don't have that. They don't have the petcock that you have to release the steam. Today, they release the steam according to what it's supposed to be. When the steam builds up, you'll see that little thing on the top called the petcock. It'll either revolve or go up and down to release the steam. And the steam will always stay at that pounds per pressure that you're using for whatever method you're canning.
Right.
Now, that is a safety feature that is on those canners. So all of you who are afraid of canning, don't be. Go out and get you a pressure canner. I would suggest you get a new one rather than one that has to have a seal on it, which is old school. Don't get that one anymore, and get one that releases the pressure on its own. That's for a pressure canner. Now, water bath canner, and I'm going to get into which foods you prepare in both. Water bath canners can be any pot large enough to hold jars, and you need to raise them up so that they're not touching the bottom of the pot. And this can be done with, if you have let's say a pot in your kitchen that you think, and it has to have a secure lid. It has to have a lid that fits securely on it. You can use that pot, and you can use lids. Let's say you have lids for your canning jars, the round part. It's the lid.
Right.
You would use some of those lids to line the bottom of that pot to sit those jars on to can them. This is in lieu of buying a water bath canner.
Okay.
But if you can, purchase one. But for sisters who don't have one, this is something else you can use. A big pot that you have at home with enough water, enough to get 3 or 4 jars. Most canners that you buy can, have at least 7 jars. Some have a little less, but, that's adequate. Now, going back to the pressure canner. Now, the foods that you can, you will either can foods in the pressure canner or, as I say, the water bath canner. Now, low-acid foods are the foods that you can in the pressure canner. These are your vegetables mostly. Anything with a pH, I think is
4.6
above or below 7. I'll have to get my information on the pH. But low-acid foods are what you want to can in your pressure canner. This is your vegetables, most of your vegetables. And what you would do is you would only have enough water to cover the bottom jars. You may have 2 rows of jars. You only have enough water to cover the jars, about maybe 2 to 3 inches of water. You don't start your timing until that water, you close it up, you put all your jars in, put your water in, and you close it up. You don't start your timer until you hear the water come to a boil. That's when you start the timing. And you time it according to what you are putting in there, what you are canning. And when you take your jars out, all of this is dependent on what you have. But I would say anyone who is serious, who is going to do canning on a regular basis, invest in good equipment. Because you'll find that good equipment, you can't do a very good job if you don't have the right equipment.
Yes, ma'am.
You need a timer.
Okay.
You need a timer. I would suggest a thermometer. I have instant read thermometers, but you don't have to go that far and get an instant read. You can just get a thermometer. And these are things that you need, because one of the things that UGA, University of Georgia, they don't recommend that people do canning on a commercial basis other than using a certified kitchen or something of that nature. However, I have found, because I have a canner, I have 2 as a matter of fact, that hold 15 jars each. Wow. And they could hold more if I stack them. But they teach against that because people don't keep in mind that foods, if it's hot, it's supposed to be the temperature is supposed to stay above 140 if it's a hot food. Anytime it goes lower than 140, you're in the danger zone. So when you're canning, I would suggest it's a whole system that has to be set up. When you see my canning system set up, you have a pot for a container for your lids, a container for your jars to keep them hot, and I always have a kettle of hot water on so that if my jars get cold, I can immediately pour hot water over them to heat them up. because you're not supposed to put hot food in cold jars. Everything is supposed to be hot, at least 140 degrees or higher. And the reason you want to use a pressure canner to can your low-acid food is because it's the only thing that will get that temperature up above 212. You know, boiling water or boiling, the temperature will get to 212. It's never going to go any higher than that. I don't care how long you boil it. It's not going to get any higher than 212. So that is why you don't use anything other than a pressure canner. The pressure canner can go as high as 300 degrees.
Ah, I see.
And that is what kills the bacteria, and especially the botulism. So you want to use a pressure canner for those low-acid foods and keep the low-acid foods.
So can I ask a couple of questions? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You sure can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. There's a delay of about 1 second between the time that you talk and the time I'm able to respond, so I apologize. But I do have a quick question to make sure I understand. And brothers and sisters who are listening, you're listening to Nat Turner Library Radio Show interview with Sister Ann Mu'min of Muhammad Farms here in Georgia. And this is your host, Brother Michael Muhammad. We're talking about food preservation. So, Sister Ann, my question, just to make sure I got this. So I wrote down some notes, and I know the audience who may be listening will probably want to go through with this. So we need a timer. Well, first of all, we need a pressure canner, okay, a canner with pressure, okay. We need a timer. We need a thermometer, and we have to know that there's low-acid food has to have a temperature above 140 degrees. Am I right so far?
Right.
Okay, so continue from there. I just want to make sure I got this. Oh, well, I do have one other question. What's the difference between a pressure cooker and a pressure canner? Because I know they're different. Are they the same or are they different?
Well, people refer to it as the same, but they're different. A pressure cooker cooks food under pressure. Now, you can use your pressure canner as a cooker, but I'm not so sure you can use your cooker as a canner.
Got you.
Right. I haven't bought a pressure cooker, so I wouldn't know, but I can use my pressure canner to cook foods in.
Okay.
But I would say if you're shopping, look for canner. Because, they have these cookers now. They have cookers that will cook anything. They have, they'll fry, rotisserie, and you got a cooker for everything now. So
yes, ma'am.
I would say look for pressure canner.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay. Now the 140 temperature I talked about is what you would keep your foods at that temperature that you're canning. This is canning by either method, your water bath or your pressure canner. All hot food should never go below 140 degrees. That's a dangerous temperature if it drops below 140. That's where your thermometer comes in. You keep your thermometer. Let's say you're canning bean soup, for instance. You would have your thermometer in your bean soup to make sure that it never goes below $140 before you get it in the jar to can it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you need most canners, I would say, no, they don't come with it. You need a set of tongs to either place your jars and to get them out of the canner, particularly. And these are canning tongs. They're different than the tongs you use to turn your food. These are specifically made to grip the tops of your jars. So you use them to lift the jars and never put your jars directly on a metal surface. Always have a towel. That is, if you're doing pressure canner or water bath canner. Never sit your jars directly on your counter or any surface without shielding it with a towel or some kind of padding of that nature. And don't let a draft get near your jars.
That'll lower the temperature.
Yes. And if it's cold, just let's say it's cold. Some places may be down to freeze it. You don't want to take your canning jars out and open the door and let cold air hit your jars. It could crack them. Just like that, the cold air. So you don't want to do that. What I'm trying to do is take some of the mystery out of it, because I know a lot of sisters are afraid of canning, but the main thing to remember is don't let your foods get cold or below 140 degrees before you are able to fill all of your jars. So you can see why quickness is necessary. You can't stop and get a phone call in the middle of your canning and go back to it unless you put the phone down and continue the process. But I've found if you're trying to do too many things at once, you'll mess up. So it's best not to do that. Now, were there any questions about the pressure canner?
Well, I was going to tell you what I did while you were explaining that, Sister Ann. What I did is I put on the Nat Turner Library Facebook page, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA's complete principles. They have a guide with PDFs on there to help with temperatures and stuff like that. And I found it helpful in my preparation for the show. What I like to do is do a little research and make sure I understand what's going on so I can talk intelligently about the subject. And so I ran across the United States Department of Agriculture's Guide to Home Canning, which was revised in 2015. And it gives some of the things about the temperatures, brothers and sisters, and stuff like that. I put that on the Nat Turner page, the Nat Turner Library radio show page, so that you can make it a reference for yourself if you're interested, and you can follow along with Sister Ann as she's talking. So I just wanted to tell the audience that real quick while you're discussing that, Sister Ann.
That's great. That's great. And one of the things I wanted to say is that our MGT class recommends that you get the Ball Book of Canning. And you can get the USDA guide free. But, get you a good canning book and learn to read. It's mind-boggling to me that we say we're God, children of the Most High God, yet we find ourselves being afraid to do this and being afraid to do that. Come out of it. Get out of the fear of doing something for self.
That's right.
Learn
That's
to
right.
can. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
Okay. Well, I do have some questions about the types of foods. And, well, let me ask you this, Sister Ann. Will you be available for questions in the next few minutes if anyone from the audience has questions for you?
Yes, I will.
Praise be to Allah. So I'm just going to take a moment to tell the audience the call-in number is 515-605-9762. If you're listening live on April 19th, Sunday evening, 8:15 p.m., at around, I'll say 8:20 or 8:25, depending on how the interview goes, we'll open up the lines for questions and take a break at that point. And please write down your questions so you don't forget. I make comments or questions to one. I'll do some screening for that during our next commercial break. So thank you, Sister Ann, for that. I do have a question, Sister Ann, if I may ask, and it's in reference to the food types. Now, you had mentioned bean soup and hot foods have to be above 140 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Can you let's say, I don't know, some other cooked foods like, let's say, pastries, like a peach cobbler, let's say, or blackberry cobbler, which I've heard of people doing it. I don't know. Can that be considered a cooked item as well, and can that store? And if so, how long?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am with a local group of women farmers and gardeners and professional women, and we do canning. And we did a pear cobbler. And you prepare your cobbler and you can it just like you would any other thing. And we use the water bath canner, because the fruit and all of the ingredients that you put with it makes for the proper ingredients to can. They are high acid foods. The fruit is, so naturally it can be canned. Like your pickled vegetables, your relishes, all of those things. Vinegar is the reason you're able to use a water bath canner for your fruits and vegetables is because they are high in acid. And your pickled vegetables and your relishes meet that same criteria. They're high in acid by the use of vinegars and salt, but mostly vinegar. Your relishes and your pickles will have a vinegar base, and that makes them high acid.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Because let me say here, your cabbage. Now, if you're going to can cabbage, which I don't do, I haven't done, but I talked to a friend who said it probably could be if you cut it in wedges rather than smaller pieces. So I'm going to try that. I've made a relish using cabbage. Now, the cabbage that you would can with just plain cabbage, now you need to do that with the pressure canner. But if you're going to do a relish with the same cabbage, you do that with the water bath canner. Now, why? Because your relish has vinegar.
Okay.
You're going to do it with vinegar, and that makes it high acid. But just the cabbage alone is low acid. So you can just the plain cabbage using a pressure canner. That was just an example. Now, other vegetables, you can just any vegetable. If it's known to have a lot of water in it, I would say don't cut it up small. Leave it in large pieces. And that way you will lessen the chance of it taking on more water.
Okay.
Okay. Now, your boiling water bath canner is for your, as I said, your high acid foods, your fruits, tomatoes. Tomatoes, are said to be a fruit also, although most people refer to it as a vegetable. But, the experts say tomatoes is a fruit.
Yes, ma'am.
And pickled vegetables and relishes. These are things you would put in your boiling water bath canner. Now, your boiling water bath canner, you would put water in there to, let's say, to cover the jars. And I would say by maybe 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches of water to cover the jars. And this is to kill any harmful bacteria that may be in the foods. And
yes, ma'am.
You boil it for a certain number of minutes, and usually it will tell you the amount of time you're going to boil that food. If it's green beans or carrots or what have you. We're going back. If it's, what do I say, peaches or pears or
right,
tomatoes or what have you. You have a certain length of time that you would prepare those foods for canning with the water bath canner.
Now, Sister Ann, I have a general question about the canned foods in general. Do they? Now, this is something I've never understood. Like when I go to a store, and up here in North Georgia, there's a bunch of farmers markets like any other, and they have professionally canned peaches and pickled eggs and all that good stuff. And I always ask the question, how long is canned food in general, including the stuff we buy commercially, but how long is it good for, and how do we know if the food is still good inside it or not?
Okay. First of all, you want to check the seal. You don't want to unseal it, but you want to lightly press down to see if it gives. In the center of the lid is where the suction takes place.
Okay.
If the center of that lid has any give in it, if you can press up and down on it and it comes up, that means it's not sealed. And I would not eat that. You need to throw that out. If you press down on it and the seal is still good, and you look at it, and it looks good, it's good. The time frame on that is, they recommend a year. But I've seen in my own kitchen where I've had food that have stood the test of time for, I would say, 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Now, the only thing is your quality may go down, but I haven't noticed that. Your quality will go down. But most of the things in the stores, they're going to say a year.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to also get in. Now, did you have any other questions on the pressure canning?
Oh, no, ma'am. I don't have any questions for myself. I'm checking now to see if anyone in the audience who's listening on social media has any questions, those audience members. But I personally don't have any other questions in reference to pressure canning.
Okay. Well, I was going to talk about freezing vegetables and fruits.
Yes, ma'am.
And freezing is it's a lot easier to do. But in order to freeze, you're going to need a freezer more than just what comes with your refrigerator.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. They're only about 2 or 3 cubic feet of space, so you need a dedicated freezer. I have around the farm here about 3 chest freezers and 1 upright in the house. But, you know, it's going to take that. So to freeze vegetables, and you can freeze anything that you can. To freeze vegetables is relatively easy. Most of them will require you to blanch first. Now, blanching, let me explain what blanching is. All blanching is putting the vegetables in boiling water for no more than 3 minutes. Taking it out, immediately running it under cold water. And I usually have a sink with ice in it to dunk it in and strain it out right away and let it drain. And then you freeze it. Now, the way you do that is you have to have a pot big enough to put, and I like to put my vegetables and fruits in a strainer. Dunk them in the hot water immediately, let them stay for the 3 minutes or whatever it takes them to get the blanching done. Take them out, put them in cold water, take them out of there, and let them drain. And then they're ready to freeze. Now, if you're going to do fruits like strawberries or blueberries or any kind of berries, if you want them to be individual, I would take them out, lay them on a cookie sheet, let them freeze, and then put them in your freezer bag or your whatever kind of container you're going to use to freeze. Now, after food, you have a question?
Oh, no, ma'am. I was just doing a response check. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the only food that should be thawed before you cook it after it has been frozen is probably corn on the cob. You want to thaw that for the best flavor, for it to taste good. And you may say, well, you know, I buy frozen corn, and they say just stick it in hot water and boil it. Well, you know, that's what they tell you on the corn that you buy in the store. I don't know if the corn is treated with anything, but I want to say this. Now, when you freeze your vegetables and fruits, you know exactly what is in that food. And even when you can your foods, you know exactly what's in there. You don't need all of these additives that you see that are in canned goods. So it makes you wonder, well, why do they need all of this? You know, I just learned not long ago, as a matter of fact, that when you buy cheese, for instance, this is getting off the subject a little bit,
yes, ma'am.
Buying cheese, when you buy your cheese already shredded and chopped up and what have you, that cheese has cellulose, I believe, added to it to make it stay separate.
Oh, I see.
So
wow,
you won't get the same result when it comes to melting that cheese as you would a cheese that you have to grate yourself.
I see. That explains a lot. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for telling me. That explains a lot. I had made some pizza about 3 weeks ago, and of late I've been making my own pizza with my own bread and whatnot, or dough. And we had bought some. I had bought some mozzarella cheese, and sure enough, it refused to melt. It didn't.
Okay.
Refuse.
Okay.
And I told my wife, I thought, did they call this organic? I don't know what it is, but that explains it. So thank you for explaining that month-long mystery of why that cheese wouldn't melt, because it got cellulose all over it. Yes, ma'am.
Right. To keep it separate while it's in the pack. So buy you some whole cheese and just grate it yourself. I have these graters that, I use all of my stuff. Sometimes, and I hate to go in a kitchen trying to prepare food and don't have the right equipment. I've been put in that situation before, and it is a headache trying to prepare anything without the proper equipment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sister Ann, can you give us about 5 minutes? I want to check with the audience and see if they have any questions, because we got about 25 more minutes in the show, and you have a plethora of information. And I want to see if you can give us about 5 minutes. Go to a quick commercial break, and we'll check with the audience and see if they have any questions or comments, because this food preservation is big time. Can we do that?
Yes.
Praise be to Allah. So hold tight for just a moment, Sister Ann. Brothers and sisters, you are listening to the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. This is the most important subject of the hour, food preservation. It's a pandemic going on, and as Sister Tangela from the news articles earlier said, from just reading the articles, they're anticipating a problem with food. So now you're going to have to go to the store or grow your own and get your own and support whatever farmer you can support, Muhammad Farms preferably, but you're going to have to preserve what you got. Freeze it, dry it, pickle it, can it. All these methods. Sister Ann is talking with us. So when we get back from these messages, I'm going to check with the audience live and see if you have any questions or comments for Sister Ann. When we get back, we're going to continue this great class from a wise one about food preservation. Sister Ann Mu'min, coming back right after these quick announcements. You're listening to the Nat Turner Library Radio Show.
Stay tuned for Nat Turner Library Radio.
Attention, please. Attention, please. Final Call Radio is now live. I repeat, Final Call Radio is now live. Final Call Radio is a 24-hour streaming service featuring the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Hear messages from the minister 24 hours a day. Hear news reports and updates from around the country on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Take us everywhere. Log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button. Final Call Radio, Final Call News, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
This is your sister, Angel Muhammad, offering to the public a quality cotton protective washable face mask. It comes in various colors and sizes to fit your style. For more information, please contact me at 937-624-9764 or visit my Instagram page at I Am Learning at Home. This is your sister, Angel Muhammad, offering to the public a quality cotton protective washable face mask. It comes in various colors and sizes to fit your style. For more information, please contact me at 764-9764 or visit my Instagram page at I Am Learning at Home.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Bellevue Spa wants to help you with your healthy journey. You can call us at 678-769-5772, or you can check out the Healthy Quest tab on BellevueSpa.com. With the coronavirus running rapid through the countries, we ship nationwide, offering immune-boosting products such as elderberry syrup, sea moss gel and supplements, and don't forget your date syrup. Can all be purchased at BellevueSpa.com, or you can call us at 678-769-5772 to place your order. Sea moss is a great anti-inflammatory. It has anti-cancer properties, 92 of the 103 minerals the body needs to boost your immune, and it aids in weight loss. We call it a superfood. Elderberry is great for cold, cough, builds the immune system. It eases sinus pain, back and leg pain, nerve pain, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Elderberry helps with constipation, hay fever, and allergies. Call Bellevue Spa at 678-769-5772 to place an order, or check out our website at BellevueSpa.com, BelleJuspa.com, and check out the Healthy Quest tab.
FinalCall.com. FinalCall.com. One word, FinalCall.com. The award-winning website for the realest and most accurate black news available on the planet. FinalCall.com. Fair, reasonable, accurate, and inclusive. We are a unifying website. FinalCall.com. Go there today.
Stay tuned for Nat Turner Library Radio.
Attracted some of the most brilliant, award-winning musicians and artists.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Chilling with the president, he let me in the White House. Back to the castle with the minister.
Support this project from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan by going to letschangetheworldmusic.com. That's letschangetheworldmusic.com. You may also simply type in lctwmusic.com. That's lctwmusic.com. Support your own, support yourself.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Nat Turner Library. And we're back. You're listening live on April 19th. Stormy, rainy April 19th. We're on with Sister Abdul Mu'min of Muhammad Farms Food Preservation Department tonight, discussing food preservation. We have been getting a great class on the basics of the understanding. I'm advising everyone listening tonight, please go to MuhammadFarms.com. MuhammadFarms.com. It is a great site. I go there often. I've been going there since the site's been up many years ago. And there is some recipes from our guest tonight, Sister Ann, there. There are the Sister Ann's Kitchen videos on canning, so you can see and not just hear about it. Sister Ann has told us, based on the 9 units of the MGT, 12 units, it's going to be the book, the Ball Book of Canning, which I put a link to that on the Facebook page for the Nat Turner Library Radio Show, the National Center for Home Preservation, the do's and don'ts. There's a very thorough guide on my personal Facebook page for Bro Michael Muhammad, as well as on the Nat Turner Library Radio page. It talks about the do's and don'ts of canning, freezing, drying, curing and smoking meats, and fermenting, pickling, making jam, and storing food. But tonight we have a guest. Sister Ann Mu'min is giving us a thorough rendition of it. Sister Ann, are you there, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Ann. We got about 15 minutes. I just wanted to say congratulations. The audience has no questions because you've been so thorough. Many of the people have said that you've answered every question they have so far. Praise be to Allah.
Okay.
So I'd like you to continue on. We got about 15 minutes, and to continue on where you want to go next.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that, for instance, in doing your bean soup, you may say, well, I want to make my own tomato sauce. Well, that's a good idea, but you have to make sure that your tomato sauce is safe. So what I would recommend is that you buy your tomato sauce. If you have to get organic or get one that's not organic that has been canned, because it has been proven to be safe if it's already canned.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
That's what I would use rather than trying to make a tomato sauce and put in your bean soup. Or your lemon juice. Let's say you're canning something and you need lemon juice. Well, I have found an organic lemon juice that I use. I like it and I use it. It's not the stuff that's in the little yellow lemon-like thing. It's not the other bottled lemon juice. This is purely organic. Nothing but lemon. So that's something that you can use. And it's safer because it's already been proven to be low in pH, to have the right pH. And blanching and freezing, you know, as I said, it takes less time to do it. One of the downsides we learned when we had this blackout due to Hurricane Michael a couple of years ago, I lost 2 freezers full of food because the power was out for more than a week. If your power is out for more than a week, you could end up losing all of your food. Well, one way not to have done that is to have had a generator. But then you have, I was in a kind of situation where, you know, even a generator would not have helped me because of how we had to maneuver in and out of the farm, back and forth to get gasoline and so forth. But if you have a freezer, I would suggest getting a generator and keeping that on hand. And to get these things, you know, you get them when it's not run on them. You get them when things are calm. That's when you buy what you need. But you get a generator and you keep your freezer hooked up. You only have to do it maybe once every 3 or 4 days, I would say, if you don't open it. Let's see, other than saving time, fruits and vegetables, you know, they'll last for up to a year in your freezer. So, you know, you usually want to turn them over and use the first in, first out. And freezing some of your own food and not having to go to the grocery store or supermarket every time you need something is a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling for me to reach in my freezer and pull out a bag of chopped onions or peppers or celery and different things of that nature, and not have to go to the store every time I need it. And, you know, a year or so ago, I would say more than a year or so ago, you used to think about how much you waste as far as food goes. But to be honest, there should be no waste. No waste at all. You can find ways to prepare your food, to save it, to do whatever, and not have food going to waste. Now, in order to freeze foods, let's say fruits. Fruits can be frozen two ways. They can be frozen whole. Yes, you can freeze them whole. You can cut them up, and you can make a simple syrup with sugar and water or water and honey. Make a simple syrup. Make sure you use, if you're going to use honey, make sure you use a light flavored honey, and it will keep the fruits light.
I do have a question on honey, Sister Ann. Does honey freeze? I had, in my experience, I've had honey in the freezer and it didn't really freeze. Maybe I didn't have a freezer cold enough. Does it freeze, or is it some other thing that might have been going on?
Oh, I don't know about the honey itself, but this is, you know, you're mixing it to add to your fruit. You're mixing it with.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Understood.
I don't know about just honey on its own, if it would freeze or not. I'll have to experiment on that. I've never had that that question asked.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. No, I'll continue. I was just curious because I know I had that issue in the past. But you're right. If it's mixed in with something, it should freeze. So thank you for that. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, vegetables and fruits that can be frozen whole, or like your tomatoes, your bell peppers, your strawberries, your plums, you know, they can be frozen whole. And for best results, though, you first freeze them, like I said, on a cookie sheet. So they'll freeze individually, and then keep them from sticking together, and then put them in a freezer container. And, you know, you can also freeze your herbs. I have people who ask, you know, well, do you grow herbs? Well, the herbs I grow have been basically for my own use. But you can freeze them, and you can grow them in flower pots, and this is something that anyone can do, anyone. And I would suggest that even on the Facebook page, people have been posting some very interesting things, plants that I've always had plants, lots of plants. And they suggest that certain house plants help to clean the air inside of the home. You have to have at least 8 hours of sunlight per day. Put them in a sunny location and don't water them too often. And that's for your herbs that you have in pots. Make sure you saturate them well when you water them, and don't water them again until you put your finger in there and the soil is dry. That's why people don't like to garden, because, you know, they say, well, I kill anything. Well, yes, you water it too much.
Yes, ma'am. I've done that. I've done that plenty of times. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The right amount of sun. It can be filtered sunlight, on a porch or in a window. And don't overwater. Now, you can plant herbs in boiling water just for a few seconds, and this will help them maintain some of their flavor, and put them under running cold water and shake off the excess, or dry them, like with a paper towel or something, before you put them in your freezer bags. And this is another way. You can put them in ice trays. I've had, when I buy bags of lemons, say for instance, and not wanting my lemons to go bad, I'll squeeze them, put the juice in ice trays, let it freeze, and then you can take it out of the trays if you're not going to use it right away and put it in bags, or you can just freeze it in the trays and take it out as you need it.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And this helps you keep from losing stuff. And your avocado, for instance, I love avocado. And one thing you don't do, they say, is to keep your avocados in the refrigerator. But I find that keeping them in the refrigerator helps to keep them longer. What I do is take them out early enough so that they can kind of warm up and use them as that way. And I found that works very well.
Okay. Well, Sister Ann, we have about another 5 minutes. I wanted to have you take a moment because you've given us so much information, and we thank you for it so far. I wanted to give you about another 3 to 4 minutes, if you would, and tell us how we can support yourself and Muhammad Farms and any other venture that you have there. If you would tell us what's the best way to do that.
Okay, at Muhammad Farms, we have a flour mill here. Our flour mill, we mill 2 types of flour, regular wheat and pastry wheat, a pastry grade wheat. And it's a very good flour, and it can be used like any other flour. We also make cream of whole wheat. You need to stop buying farina. You need to stop buying this cream of wheat with this man on the box. Read the label. That's all I can say. Read the label, and you will see what's in it. So we have the cream of wheat. I have developed a cream of whole wheat muffin and bread mix using our flour, our cream of wheat, raw sugar, whole buttermilk powder, non-aluminum baking powder, baking soda. Did I say raw sugar and raw sugar? I've developed that muffin mix. You can't beat it. The only thing you need to add is 2 eggs, 1/3 cup of oil, cup of water, and you've got your muffin mix, versus all of the other things that have to go with muffin mix. I laughed to myself because I saw on Facebook somebody had posted a cream of wheat muffin mix recipe, and the list of ingredients was, wow. I said, I bet this is good, though. But, we have the muffin mix.
What's the best way to get the What's the best way to get the muffin mix in the flour? Do we need to wait till Dr. Risley come around, or is there a way to order it?
Well, we prefer you order through your staple goods coordinator. In the Atlanta area, it's going to be Sister Niambe Muhammad. And you can get all the products as well as all of the other products in the staple goods package. We have many, many products, and we encourage believers to make products to put in the staple goods. And remember, these are staple products we're trying to sell. These are things that most people use on a regular basis. This is what staple means to me. So, just keep that in mind. And to order through our staple goods, we're going through a special Navy bean project right now, 18B. We are going to start staple goods 19 as soon as we get all of these beans out that people have ordered. So we're going to start staple goods 18. And that includes about 17 products, from the natural soap made by one of our believers, applesauce made by a brother in the nation, the Exodus coffee, spices made by Sister Majida, granola mix made by Sister Majida. We have so many things. Raw sugar, I was trying to name the things that made by the speaker. Now we get into the raw sugar, the honey, all the different beans, navy beans, black beans, red beans, red and brown lentils, just a myriad of things that we have.
Praise
and you can
get
them by going to NOIMOA.org and looking for your staple goods rep closest to you.
Praise be to Allah. So NOIMA.org, brothers and sisters. And as when we interviewed a few weeks ago, Dr. Abdul Mu'min, you click on staple goods, and you would go to your closest city on there, and when staple goods 19 is ready, you would just simply go ahead and participate as such. Is that right, Sister Ann?
That's correct. That is correct.
Okay. Praise be to Allah. We got 30 seconds that I can give you before we close out. Do you have any final comments for the audience, Sister Ann?
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show. I pray that I was of some help to someone, but I know the most important thing for sisters to get over, sisters or anyone who wants to get over the fear. Get over that fear.
Praise be to Allah. Well, thank you, Sister Ann. Thank you. May Allah continue to bless you and Dr. Rizli Mu'min as you continue to get us the best food available to us so we can stay alive. Inshallah, we'll have you back on again in the near future. Thank you. May Allah bless you, and inshallah, we'll talk to you soon. I'd like to leave you as I greet you in the words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, that was another great episode of the Nat Turner Library Radio Show. Please support Muhammad Farms. Please support NOIMOA.org. Please go to my site, bromichaelmuhammad.com, and you can listen to the podcast and have links to Muhammad Farms, Staple Goods Project, and other services from black men and women around the country. Next show, we're not sure if it'll be next week or the week after. We're going to have student minister Stanley Muhammad from 15B and Sister Ruth. They will be talking about their ordeal, dealing with, as we discussed last year, dealing with her not being able to get back in the United States. She's here by Allah. So forthcoming. You'll get the date on that. Go to bromichaelmuhammad.com. Support the show. I'm going to leave you as I greeted you. Assalamu alaikum.
Nat Turner Library Radio.
Nat Turner Library Radio.